Welcome aboard, it's Captain G with another update of the HBG Barbarossa game that Flak 88 and myself are playing. This is the end of turn one, end of the Soviet turn, and then the rolls that lead into turn two. So let's jump right into it. So first off, we'll start in the north. There weren't a lot of combat actions. There weren't any that I can think of right now for the Soviets. So all of these are broken rail lines. So again, as I mentioned before, we're incorporating some of Global War 36's scorched earth capability for the Soviets. So these destroying all these lines mean that the Axis trains, which can run back and forth to the reinforcement zones and bring units forward, cannot go through those zones. That's the orange markers. The red markers on the river is something that we're experimenting with this game as well, and these are bridges. So destroyed bridges connecting the zones across the river. So an enemy would need to use a combat action to cross the river, and that would be their full movement. So to go from here to there would be their full movement. On combat only, you cannot non-combat until you repair the bridges, which costs you some of your reinforcement points. So it's a drain on the German economy and German force logistically to move units, supplies, and trace a line of supply back across the destroyed bridges and rail lines. So a lot of that in the north as well as in the south. These units that we talked about here that were out of supply have been removed. So next turn, the Germans can move in and take these territories if they want. They may leave them open, because if they take them, they would have to garrison them to prevent the appearance of partisans. If they leave them in Soviet possession, I've already destroyed the railroads. They are out of supply, so there's nothing I could really do to these zones, but partisans don't pop up in territory controlled by the Soviets. They pop up in territory controlled by the Axis. One attack that I was looking at is here. Finland took Vilpuri back from the Soviets, and clearly we had taken it from them during the Winter War. So they're threatening Leningrad from the north, and there are German units moving up that can threaten Leningrad from the south. I thought about proactively sending this force, which wasn't much, about 4 infantry and 6 infantry and 4 artillery at the time, or even just doing an artillery attack. But as soon as I attack into Finland, then it activates them entirely, and they get a bunch more supplies and reinforcements. And I'm already outgunned on this frontier, so I opted to wait, because each of the Axis minor powers, Finland we just talked about, and then you have down here again Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, and then off the map but in the corner reinforcement zone, Italy and Spain, get activated when certain victory conditions or certain combat conditions are met, and that does a couple things. In the case of Romania, it unlocks. You'll see that this says locked and this says locked for Bulgaria, and the capital force here in Romania, those forces are locked. So while Romania is participating, they're not fully in. They're not fully mobilized into the war. Once they are fully mobilized, these forces become unlocked, the Bulgarians become unlocked, and additional resources are available to the Germans in their attacks. Okay, so that's kind of a recap. It was just moving pieces across, moving deck chairs across the Titanic, if you will. Reinforced Odessa by see, the Soviets have a naval capacity of 2, so I can send 2 units from one port to another port per turn. And the Germans have a capacity as well, and they use that to send some German units to Finland. So as long as I can resupply this and send units forward, I can have a defense here in Odessa, slow down the southern force. And that's really it. At the end of turn 1, the Soviets rolled for income increases. Their max economy is 80 in this game, and they start with 25. I rolled 3 Pinko Communist dice. I got a 10, which was nice, and a 2 and a 3, which is not so nice. So only went up 15. So now my economy next time is 40, 25 plus 15, and that's what I'll use to purchase reinforcements. The 10 here is the roll for the weather, and I was hoping for a rain, but a 10 was as high as I could roll and still have good weather for the Germans. So an 11 or 12 would be rain, and you can see the matrix here. So turn 3, I have nearly a 50-50 chance of bad weather, and then turn 4, you'd have to roll a 1 to have good weather, otherwise it's snow or rain. So that's how that works. So next up is Flak 88, Germany in the Axis, with turn 2, which is good weather, and the Germans retain initiative for turn 2, and we'll start rolling for initiative on turn 3. This is Captain G, over and out.